A gorgeous day here in northern Yokohama, and if you are anywhere from about Sendai on down to Okinawa and even parts of the southern Sea of Japan coast, you're having the same weather. A little bit of jinky weather up north, but that's going to clear out soon. This is Soracast for Saturday, November 22nd, 2025. You know, if I had to write a script where 3 days of almost perfect weather was needed, this would pretty much be how it goes. Just absolutely gorgeous skies across most of the country. We've got some clouds still remaining up in the weather-beaten areas and the upper Sea of Japan coast, Tohoku and Hokkaido. But those clouds will be pushed out today as high pressure begins to move in from the Sea of Japan and dominate Japan's weather landscape through Tuesday. Now, before we get into the forecast and what's happening around the region now, let's take a look at some of yesterday's extreme temperatures across the country. You had Chichijima, which is part of Tokyo Prefecture. They came in at a high of 25.5 degrees for the warmest spot in the country, whereas the little village of Nobayama in Nagano Prefecture bottomed out yesterday morning at 6.8 below zero. Well, you know, just about everybody else, we were somewhere in between. For today, we're going to have fair conditions pretty much nationwide, with the exception of Tohoku and Hokkaido, where you will have some unsettled areas. Temperatures, on the other hand, are going to be very close to normal nationwide, single digits in Hokkaido, low teens in northern Honshu, and higher teens from Kanto on all the way down to Kyushu. Rain chances today are moderate up in northern areas this morning, but decreasing as the day goes on. So then tomorrow, Sunday, northern areas from around Sendai on up will see a noticeable warming trend and clearer skies as that high pressure system begins to take hold over the country. Temperatures are going to be the big thing. Sapporo, for instance, they're going to jump from a temperature of 6 degrees today to 12 on Sunday. Wakanai, up in the northern part of Hokkaido, goes from 3 to 8. Aomori as well goes from 9 to 14. However, areas from around Sendai on down south and west of the country will not get the jump in temperatures you'll see up north. Daytime highs will remain pretty stable with very little variance through Tuesday. We're talking around 17 in Yokohama, Gifu, and Takamatsu, 16 in Kobe, 18 in Oita, 19 in Kumamoto, 20 in both Fukuoka and Koichi. Okinawa, too, remains seasonable, with Naha hitting 26. Now, Monday is a national holiday. It's Labor Thanksgiving Day. And what can I say about this Monday? Except that it's going to be pretty much a copy paste of Sunday with very little change expected. A small low will form off the Pacific coast of the country, and its counterclockwise movements will temper the effects of the tropical air coming up from the offshore high pressure, which by this time will be further off at sea. And another low, this one a little bit stronger, will be forming off the Korean peninsula and will start to throw up some clouds along the Sea of Japan during the day on Monday. But it'll be pretty sunny and pleasant pretty much everywhere else in the country. So let's talk a little about Tuesday. Okay, we all got to get back to work. The 3-day weekend is over, and that low that formed on Monday between the Korea and China will be moving over the Sea of Japan, bringing a widespread chance of rain to the country. A fitting return back to work, don't you think? Well, temperatures, however, are expected to fall just slightly as that low brings in a little bit more northerly air, but the dip in temperatures, it will be noticeable, but it will not be significant. Now, looking now at the 3-day temperature forecast, like we said, up in the northern part of the country, you're going to get a significant jump in temperatures as we go through the 3-day. Down around the central areas on down south, temperatures are not going to vary that much from what they are today. Now, I think you all have noticed this, but despite the warming trend that we've got in the country right now, lows at night and in the morning are still going to be a little chilly, with most of the country in the single digits range, at least through Tuesday. So let's take a look at the 1500-meter map. Well, in the first place, what is a 1500-meter map? Well, it is a map of temperatures and pressure about 1500 meters from where we're standing now. Meteorologists use the 1500 maps to detect larger trends and low-level jet stream movements, and at the same time, temperatures at the 1500-meter level don't move as much during the day and night. So it helps people like me detect larger scale changes in temperature. So this has been an interesting case study. Let's take a look at the maps for the past couple days. So on Wednesday, the line where the 1500-meter temperature was at 0°C, that is to say freezing, enveloped a large portion of Japan. However, over the past 48 hours, it has retreated back to the north again. This tells me that the high pressure systems that we've been talking about are driving true bona fide changes in our weather. And in this case, as the 0°C line moves up north, it says that we are going to have some warmer temperatures over the next few days. Well, as it is with high pressure systems anywhere, we got to talk a little bit about air quality. The high pressure pattern we're having is kind of similar to what we see in summer. Not exactly, of course, but the same idea more or less applies. The high pressure systems, which are associated with fair weather, often bring slower or stagnant winds, right? These slower winds mean that the pollutants tend to linger in the area longer, and that starts to degrade our air quality. Air quality, as of today, Saturday, is largely good at the moment, but it will be moving into the moderate range as these highs begin to dominate our weather. That is your Soracast for Saturday, November 22nd, 2025. Hey, as always, if you like weather and science related content from Japan, just doink that like and subscribe button, and we would be happy to have you join the ride.